Probably the heaviest emotion beyond fear that I felt going through a fair recovery was anger. Wait a minute, no, rage. I am not by nature an angry person. I am not quick to anger. I'm actually pretty calm. I tend to be the peacekeeper in many situations. But oh my goodness, I have never felt that seething level of rage in my life. Now, of course, I was going through grief. Anger's a part of grief. But what I found is after a while, it's okay. Yeah, you deal with it. You live in the anger for a bit. And that anger actually fueled me a little bit. But after a while, I was thinking to myself, this anger is leading me to be a crazy person. I need to do something about it ASAP. Are you at that place? You're feeling tremendous rage and you don't know what to do with it. And you notice it's kind of controlling how you speak, how you function, how you hear things, what you do. Yeah, I know how you feel. I've got some tips that might help you unravel that a little bit so you can try to manage it better. So stay tuned. All right, so rage, anger, whatever. I've talked about this in other videos on my channel. Anger is a surface level emotion. And by that I mean usually there are other emotions that are presenting as anger. A lot of times there's something else going on, but what's coming out of us and what we think we're feeling is anger. The big three that live up under there are fear, frustration, and hurt, which, I mean, hello, a fair recovery, right? All three of those are spinning in us all the time, all day, every day. No wonder we're angry, right? There are other things that can filter into anger as well. Embarrassment, shame, feeling pushed to do something by another person or feeling controlled. There's a lot of things that can filter into that, but really the big three is fear, frustration, and hurt. So when I was feeling super angry, I allowed myself to feel it. I had a therapist at the time who was like, girl, you got to feel it. You got to let yourself feel. And I agree with that, actually. And I'm really glad he told me that. I'm glad he gave me permission, because as a person who doesn't get angry a lot, I was embarrassed. I was ashamed that I felt angry, because it just wasn't the way I was behaving in my anger was not me. The thoughts that were going through my mind, holy buckets, it was terrible. He told me, of course you feel this way. And he gave me permission to feel. So I'm going to give you permission to feel. Absolutely. Over time, however, we don't want to function in a state of anger, right? We want to start functioning differently. We don't want anger to determine the words that come out of our mouths and the actions we take and the thoughts we have. We don't want anger driving our car, in other words. So how do we dismantle this in super, super powerful emotion? Because it really is this intense, right? And it kind of clouds us in many ways. I mean, when people say they see red when they're angry, I realized pretty quick what they meant by that. But here's what I did, and this was helpful for me. I worked really hard to dismantle the anger by asking myself some important questions. What is fueling your anger right now? Anger's anger, it's surface level, but what is underneath it that's pumping all the fuel into what you're feeling right now? What is it? and let's say it's fear, because I kind of functioned in fight or flight like all the time. I was tired of being scared. I was angry that I was even in a place where I had to be scared. I was angry that I'd lost safety and my life was turned upside down. I didn't feel I could trust anybody anymore. I was angry because I was scared. It could be, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that he's not listening to me. I'm frustrated that I'm sitting here having to do all this work and they're the one that had the affair. I'm frustrated. Could be that. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm sick of the pain. I'm tired of the pain. I'm angry because this hurt is not fair. It's terrible. Injustice is actually another thing that can fuel anger, by the way. Right? Once I identified what it was, the real thing, that in that moment, I'm not talking about like in perpetuity. I'm talking about in that moment. Once I identified what was fueling the anger in that moment, I was able to turn my energy to address that. If I was feeling unsafe, I was scared. Okay. I was like, okay, well, I need to work on safety. How can my spouse help me feel safer? How can I help myself feel safer? Are there things that I don't have in place right now that I need in place to feel safe? If it's frustration, I'm feeling super frustrated because they're not listening to me. Okay, do we need to go to couples counseling? How can we help solve that issue? I am super hurt. Okay, hurt is hurt. We're going to feel it. The best remedy for hurt is time and space. Time and space. Okay, journaling helps too. Journaling really helped me. And by the way, if you really want to get your anger out, get a journal that you can burn later. Do a burn journal. You vomit. I did this. I had just a cheap, those marbly colored, it's black and white marble cover cardboard journals, notebooks. I had a leftover one that my kids weren't using for school, and I used it as my burn journal. And oh my goodness, I vomited everything that was going on in my heart and mind. And ooh, it was ugly. And I hid it. Hopefully my husband never read it, but hope he didn't. But yeah, I said all the things. I called names. I used what my good friend called sparkle words. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. And they were probably every other word. And once I was done and I felt like I had gotten a handle on my anger, I had a burn party by myself and I burned the cotton picking thing. That's a great strategy as well. But really, again, anger's not good or bad. It's an outcome. It's a reflection of what's really going on inside of you. And to do something about the anger means you're going to need to do some exploration. Get that journal, work that out, figure out what it is. That's going to be the best way for you to get beyond it. Okay. And to get a better handle on what's coming out of you when you're super angry. Okay. Anger, fear, frustration, hurt, all of these things, the intense anxiety, my clients have it all. If you're looking for a coach to walk you through it, I've been there and done that. I can help you with that, okay? Schedule that free consultation with me. There's no obligation, and I even coach you on the call some, so you get a feel for what coaching's like. And I could tell you about it, and we can see if it's a good fit. Grab all the freebies below, okay? Make sure you subscribe if you like this content, and I try to publish as much as I can, and if you subscribe, you get notified. All right. Do some exploration, get that notebook, and start really writing out, asking yourself what is living underneath this, so that it's not driving your car anymore. You have control back. So give that a try.